Hey, before we start today's episode, I want to ask you something. And I want you to actually think about it. Don't just skip past it. When was the last time you did something just for yourself? Not for your family, not for your friends, not because someone expected it from you. Just for you. If you're struggling to remember, that's exactly why we made this episode.
And if your answer was something like, I don't have time for that, or other people need me more, yeah, we really need to talk. Welcome back to Elevate Your English podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Jessica. And today we are talking about something that sounds simple, but is actually one of the hardest things for so many people. Loving yourself more than anyone else.
Now, before anyone closes this video thinking, oh, this is just another self-help talk, please stay. Because this is not about bubble baths and journal prompts. This is about something much deeper. Something most of us were never taught.
And we're going to talk about it the way we talk about everything on this show, like real people having a real conversation. Also, if you're learning English, this episode is perfect for you. We'll have a full vocabulary section at the end with 10 useful words from today's conversation. So stay till the end. It's worth it.
Okay, Jessica, let's just get into it. Where does this problem even start? Why do so many people find it hard to love themselves?
I think it starts very early. Like, when we're children, we're taught to share, to be kind, to put others first. And those are good things. But somewhere along the way, we take it too far.
Right. It goes from be kind to others to your needs don't matter as much.
Exactly. And by the time we're adults, we've spent so many years making other people comfortable, we've completely forgotten how to make ourselves comfortable.
I remember a friend of mine, and I'm not going to use her name, but she used to cancel her own plans, her own rest days, her own small joys, just so she wouldn't disappoint anyone else.
Oh, that's so common. And the scary part is, she probably thought that was normal, that was just being a good person.
She did. She literally told me, I feel guilty when I do things for myself. And I didn't know what to say at first, because I understood it. I've felt that too.
A lot of people have. There's this feeling that if you prioritize yourself, you're being selfish, like there's something wrong with you.
But here's what I've come to understand, and I think this is important. Selfishness and self-love are not the same thing.
Not even close.
A selfish person takes from others without thinking about them. A person who loves themselves just takes care of themselves first, so they have something left to give.
That's a really good way to put it. It's like, you know when you're on an airplane and they say, put on your own oxygen mask before helping others?
Yes, classic example, but it's classic for a reason, because it's true. You cannot help someone else breathe if you're already running out of air.
And I think that's where a lot of good, caring people get stuck. They're so focused on being there for everyone else, they never stop to check if they are okay.
And the answer, a lot of the time, is no, they're not okay. They're exhausted, they're resentful, they're running on empty.
But they keep going. Because stopping feels wrong. Resting feels wrong. Saying no feels wrong.
That cycle, it's exhausting just to describe.
Imagine living it.
Let's talk about the actual struggles people face, because I think naming them helps. When you hear something described and you think, oh, that's me, there's something relieving about that.
Totally. Like you're not broken. You're just human.
So the first one, and this is huge, is the approval trap.
Oh, say more.
It's when your self-worth depends almost entirely on what other people think of you. If someone praises you, you feel good. If someone criticizes you, even mildly, your whole day falls apart.
And the exhausting thing about that is, you can never control what people think. So you're constantly chasing something you'll never fully catch.
Exactly. You change your opinions based on who's in the room. You dress differently depending on who's watching. You say yes when you mean no because you're afraid of what happens if you disappoint someone.
I did this for years. I used to agree with people even when I completely disagreed, just to avoid conflict. And then I'd go home feeling this strange, hollow feeling.
Like you weren't really there. Like you showed up, but left yourself at the door.
Yes, that's exactly it.
The second struggle, and this one's quieter but just as damaging, is the comparison habit.
Social media made this so much worse.
So much worse. You wake up, you check your phone, and within 30 seconds you've already seen someone who looks better, earns more, travels more, seems happier.
And suddenly your perfectly good life feels not enough.
Right. And the thing is, you're comparing your real life to someone's highlight reel. You're comparing your 6 a.m. face in the mirror to their best photo from their best day.
That's not a fair comparison. It was never fair.
But our brains don't always remember that, especially when we're already feeling low.
And the more you compare, the more you start to believe that everyone else has figured something out that you haven't. That there's something specifically wrong with you.
Which brings us to struggle number 3, negative self-talk.
This one. This one is so silent and so destructive.
What does it sound like for you? Like, when does it show up?
For me, it used to show up in the morning. I'd look in the mirror and the first thought wasn't neutral. It was critical. You look tired. You should be further ahead by now. Why can't you get it together?
And the wild thing is, we say things to ourselves that we would never say to a friend.
Never. If a friend came to me and said, I feel like I'm failing at everything, I wouldn't say, yeah, you kind of are. I would never.
Exactly. But we say it to ourselves without hesitation.
And over time, you start to believe it. The voice becomes background noise. You don't even notice it anymore, but it's shaping how you see yourself.
It's like a radio that's always on, always playing a slightly negative station, and you've just stopped hearing it consciously. But it's still affecting your mood, your confidence, your decisions.
That's such a good image.
And then there's the fourth one, which I think is underrated: neglecting your own needs.
Physical, emotional, creative needs.
All of them. Like, when did you last eat a meal you actually enjoyed, without rushing? When did you last sleep properly without guilt?
When did you last do something creative just because it made you happy, not because it was productive?
That one hits. Because there's this culture now where everything has to have a purpose. Hobbies have to become side hustles. Rest has to be earned. Joy has to be justified.
And if you just enjoy something with no output, no goal, no result, it feels wasteful.
Which is such a sad way to live.
It really is. And I think it slowly teaches you that your comfort, your joy, doesn't really matter. That it's a luxury, not a need.
But it is a need.
It absolutely is.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem. We've named the struggles. Now, I want to talk about what actually helps. And I want to be clear, this isn't a checklist. This is just what we've noticed, what's worked, what feels real.
Right, not a 10-step program, just honest things.
So the first thing I really believe in, and it sounds small, is learning to notice your own reactions.
What do you mean by that?
Like when something happens, before you respond or adjust or apologize or change, just pause and notice. How do I feel right now? Do I actually want to do this, or am I doing it to manage someone else's reaction?
Oh, that's interesting. Because a lot of times we act so automatically, especially people pleasers, that we don't even check in with ourselves first.
Right. Someone asks for a favor and you say yes before you've even thought about whether you have the capacity. It's a reflex.
And by starting to notice, Just notice, not even change yet. You begin to understand yourself better. You start seeing the patterns.
And once you see a pattern, you have a choice. You might not change it right away, but you see it. And that's actually powerful.
I think the second thing, and this changed something in me, is changing how you talk to yourself.
The internal voice thing.
Yes, not in a fake, forced way, not telling yourself, I am amazing and perfect when you don't believe it, because that feels hollow and it doesn't work.
It's like trying to convince yourself of something you know isn't true.
Exactly. But what does work is just being gentler, replacing the harsh word with a neutral one first.
So instead of, I'm so stupid, I made a mistake.
Yes, or instead of, I'll never get this right. This is hard, but I'm still learning.
That's not toxic positivity. That's just accuracy. Because I'm so stupid is not accurate. It's an attack.
And your brain responds to how you speak to it. If you're constantly attacking yourself, your brain learns to operate from a place of fear and shame. If you're gentler, even just slightly, there's more space to actually think clearly.
And then the third thing, this one's about relationships. Loving yourself means being honest about what you need from the people in your life.
This is a hard one.
It is, because it involves vulnerability. And it sometimes involves disappointing people.
Or having a difficult conversation.
Right. But here's what I've noticed. When you don't tell people what you need, you start to resent them for not giving it to you, even though they didn't know.
Oh, that's so true. You get angry at someone for not seeing something you never showed them.
And that's not fair to them or to you.
So being honest, even when it's uncomfortable, is actually an act of self-love, because you're saying, my needs exist, and they matter enough to be spoken out loud.
Exactly. You're not hiding anymore.
And then there's something I want to add, which is about protecting your time and your energy. Not dramatically, not by shutting everyone out, but just by being more intentional.
Like recognizing that your time is a resource. And right now, most of us give it away without thinking.
Yes, every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to something that could restore you.
And it doesn't always have to be a big, dramatic no. Sometimes it's just, I'm going to keep this evening for myself. Or, I'm not going to check my messages for 2 hours.
Small, quiet choices that add up.
They really do. And I think the last thing, and maybe the hardest, is accepting that you are not going to get it right all the time.
Self-love includes self-forgiveness.
And that one takes time, because a lot of us are very unforgiving of ourselves. We remember our mistakes for years. We replay them. We use them as evidence that something is fundamentally wrong with us.
But you wouldn't hold a friend's 5-year-old mistake against them today.
You'd say, they've grown. People change.
Why don't we say that to ourselves?
I think because we feel like we don't deserve that grace.
And that right there, that is the heart of the whole problem.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, we have a challenge for you today. And it's small. We're not asking you to completely transform your life this week.
No pressure. No pressure. Just one thing.
This week, for just 7 days, we want you to write down one thing every evening that you did well that day. Not something huge. It could be tiny.
You woke up even though you didn't want to. You cooked a meal. You sent a difficult message. You rested when your body needed it.
Anything. Just one thing per day. Write it down, in English if you want the practice, and actually read it back to yourself.
Not to perform positivity, but to start the habit of witnessing yourself, acknowledging that you exist, you're trying, and that counts.
And if you do this, tell us. Leave a comment below. Write what you noticed. We read them. We really do.
We'd love to hear from you. All right, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today.
We started by asking, When was the last time you did something just for yourself? And for many people, that's a question with no easy answer.
We talked about how many of us were taught to put others first, and how that, taken too far, becomes a pattern of ignoring our own needs.
We looked at the common struggles, the approval trap, the comparison habit, negative self-talk, and the neglect of our own comfort and joy.
And then we talked about what actually helps: noticing your own reactions, changing how you speak to yourself, being honest about your needs in relationships, protecting your time and energy, and practicing self-forgiveness.
None of this is about becoming selfish or pushing people away.
It's about becoming someone who has enough. Enough stability, enough peace, enough self-respect to actually show up for the people and the life they care about.
You can't pour from an empty cup, and you deserve to be full too. Okay, now it's English learning time. This is one of my favorite parts of every episode.
We've pulled 10 words and phrases from today's conversation. These are intermediate level, great for A2 to B1 learners, and we'll give you the meaning, a natural example, and a question you can practice answering yourself.
Grab a notebook if you have one. Let's go. Word 1. Prioritize. Prioritize means to decide that something is more important than other things and to deal with it first. Example: she decided to prioritize her mental health over working extra hours. Practice question: what is one thing you want to prioritize more in your daily life, and why? Word 2. Resentful. Adjective. Resentful means feeling angry or upset because you think you have been treated unfairly, often over a long period of time. Example: he became resentful after helping everyone around him while nobody helped him in return. Practice question: have you ever felt resentful in a relationship or situation? What caused that feeling? Word 3. Approval. Noun. Approval means accepting or agreeing with something or someone. It's when you feel that others think well of you. Example: she always needed her manager's approval before making small decisions, even ones she could handle herself. Practice question: whose approval do you sometimes look for too much? Why do you think that is? Word 4. Hollow. Adjective. Hollow describes a feeling that is empty, without real meaning or sincerity, even if something looks fine on the outside. Example: he said the right words, but they felt hollow, like he didn't really mean them. Practice question: can you think of a time when something felt hollow to you? When it looked good, but felt empty inside? Word 5. Vulnerability. Noun. Vulnerability is the quality of being open and honest about your feelings and struggles, even when it feels risky or uncomfortable. Example: it takes real courage and vulnerability to tell someone what you truly need from them. Practice question: is it easy or difficult for you to show vulnerability with people close to you? Why? Word 6. Intentional. Adjective. Intentional means doing something on purpose, with a clear reason, not just by habit or accident. Example: she started being more intentional about how she spent her evenings, choosing rest instead of scrolling. Practice question: what is one area of your life where you want to be more intentional? Word 7. Capacity. Noun. Capacity here means the mental or emotional energy you have available at a given time. Example: I said yes, but honestly, I didn't have the capacity. I was already overwhelmed. Practice question: how do you usually know when you've reached your emotional capacity? What does it feel like? Word 8. Acknowledge. Verb. Acknowledge means to recognize or accept that something exists or is true, to notice it and name it, even quietly. Example: she finally acknowledged that she was exhausted and that it was okay to stop. Practice question: is there something about yourself or your situation that you've been slow to acknowledge? What has made it hard? Word 9. Destructive. Adjective. Destructive means causing serious damage or harm, often slowly, from the inside. Example: constant comparison with others can become a destructive habit that quietly erodes your confidence. Practice question: what is a habit or thought pattern in your life that you think might be destructive, even if it feels normal? Word 10. Restore. Verb. Restore means to bring something back to its original, healthy condition, to refill or repair what was lost. Example: a quiet walk in the evening was the only thing that truly restored his energy after a difficult day. Practice question: what is something that restores your energy when you're feeling drained?
Great job if you stayed through that whole section. Seriously, vocabulary practice is one of the best things you can do to improve your English naturally. And today's words all come from real conversation, which makes them much easier to remember.
Try using at least 2 or 3 of them this week, in your journal, in a conversation, or even in the comment section below. We'd love to see it.
Before we go, I just want to say something, and I want to say it simply. You are not a burden for having needs.
You are not selfish for wanting to feel good.
And you are not weak for struggling with this. Loving yourself, truly, quietly, consistently, is one of the hardest things a person can learn to do.
Because no one really teaches it. We're taught to work hard, to be kind, to achieve things. But somewhere in all of that, we forget to just be with ourselves, to actually like who we are.
And I don't think that's fixed in a single podcast episode or a single moment of realization. It's something you practice over and over, imperfectly.
Some days you'll get it right. You'll rest without guilt. You'll say no without a spiral. You'll look in the mirror and feel okay.
And some days you'll fall right back into old patterns. And that's allowed. That doesn't mean you failed. It just means you're human.
What matters is that you keep coming back to yourself, to this practice, to the understanding that you specifically, deserve the same care you so freely give to everyone else.
Start there. That's enough.
Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope something in today's conversation stayed with you.
And if it did, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. You might not know it, but the right words at the right moment can genuinely change something for someone.
Take care of yourselves. Really, actually take care of yourselves.
We'll see you in the next one.
Oh, and one small thing before you go. If this episode helped you, even a little, consider subscribing to the channel.
We make these episodes for English learners who want to grow their language and grow as people at the same time. Every week, we cover topics that actually matter in English that's clear, natural, and real.
No complicated grammar lectures, no robotic dialogues, just 2 people talking about life, language, and everything in between.
Hit subscribe if that sounds like something you want more of, and leave a comment. Tell us what today's episode made you think about.
We're always reading, and we're always glad you're here.
Until next time, be a little kinder to yourself today.
Just a little. That's all it takes to start.